yeah, it's Sunday, June 29th, a little bit before 5 p.m. Central Time, the best time. You know what that means. It's time for First Call. My name is Victor Jones, but you're not here for me. You're here for the one, the only, the special guest, Tony Batista. Tony, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on tonight, Vic. Really do appreciate it. It's my first time on in a week. You know, I've been traveling Europe. I came down with a little bit of COVID while I was in Europe.
COVID, what's that? You mean you got the flu?
Sorry, man. I just got the flu. Sorry, I just got the flu. If you don't test, you really have it, I guess is what you. You know, listen, when I was growing up, we were able to just take a shot in the butt and get rid of everything. I don't know how long these things last now. They seem to last a little bit longer.
Rub a little tussin on it. You know, I feel silly, Tony. Like you helped build this place, and then you know, I do an intro. I do my little stupid intro to the guy who helped build this whole tastylive thing. I feel a bit silly, if I'm being honest with you, man.
No, man, it's got to happen. It's got to happen someday, right? I mean, we all gotta take the old people and move us aside and let the young people in. You know, that's the natural progression. That's what you build. You don't build something for today or for yourself. You build something for the future. So that's what we've done here.
You look terrific. Welcome back. You look refreshed. Obviously, well deserved. Glad to have you back, my friend. You are back, and we're at 6,200 in the S&P 500, and vol is fully collapsed. Did you expect that, Tony?
So I watched it from afar. You know what I mean? Like the time difference is enormous. Okay, so I give up my hat is off to everybody who is not in the U.S. or in a different time zone that watches the U.S. markets.
What were you, 8 hours, something like that?
6 to 7, depending on if it was London or Paris. It's really a big difference. So you're watching from afar and you're trading a little bit, differently. And watching from afar, man, this U.S. market is a beautiful thing, man. What does it go up? Market is a beautiful thing, man. What does it go up, like 3% every week? I mean, it's you just sell naked puts and you don't worry about a thing,
Bro, if you turn the news off, if you don't log on Twitter, this has been a terrific couple of months. You would never know we went through absolute hell.
What are we up, 25% or something since the April lows, or 27%, whatever it is, whatever point or figure you're going for? I mean, this is an absolute beautiful thing.
All right, 16 in the VIX, 18 forward futures. How do you change the way you either position or the way you utilize buying power in a 16 VIX market, Tony?
Yeah, so it's less units closer to the money is what it's come down to for me. And that's how I traded it from further away, being away from the market, not watching it every moment like I normally do. And also just the way volatility is acted, it's less units. That's the prudent thing. And a little closer to the money, you got to make up for the juice somewhere. That's really what it is. But you had some movers. You were mentioning a moment ago before we came on. You had Palantir. That's gone a little south. You've had Nike that went to the upside. I mean, there are singular names that are starting to get exciting. I think Apple came out with some good news too. We'll see what's going on with that. That's another one that really hasn't, kind of participated with the overall move here. Maybe that gives us the next boost. I thought 6,100 was the line in the sand that we were going to have a hard time getting through. And like I said, last week we went right through that.
People are still chasing, Tony, still chasing into the quarter's end. A bunch of people panicked in early April, and now they got to try to figure out how to make their performance for the end of the quarter. Who knows? We end the quarter this week on a light week, holiday week. Any advice to people going into a shortened week? What do you sort of expect? Less liquidity, and what does that mean for managing risk? What's it? Thursday and then full day Friday off, right?
It didn't look like there was a lot of volume on Friday and really Thursday in the E-mini S&Ps. It seemed like it was light. I didn't look at the option numbers. I usually see the option numbers every day. Francis usually sends them to me in the chat room, so I know kind of what's going on volume-wise on the options. So I don't at this point. But the E-mini S&P volume looked to be a little bit light. I would expect the same thing. 4th of July weekend is usually a bullish kind of rah-rah kind of week for the market. I don't know if that's coincidence or not, but I think it's, probably steady as we go. We had a new high on Friday on very little volume. I don't think there's any kind of capitulation yet. We haven't had that capitulation run up, unless you think that 3% move or a 3+% move last week was capitulation move to the upside. I don't think so. Hate to say this. It seems like he's smooth sailing.
He's bullish. He's bullish.
I've been bullish for a while now. Give me some credit. Like I said, 6,100. When we were 57, 58, I said 6,100. I kind of we're through that by 120 handles or whatever. So, and here the E-mini S&P's just opened. They're up 5. I mean, they're going to cut you to death to the upside is what it looks like.
Yeah. What would you? I asked this question to Mike and Nick. Maybe I asked it to you as well. I can't remember. What would you rather take? Would you rather take a 14 VIX summer or a 40 VIX summer? You got to pick one of the two.
You see, I'm going to be 63 years old in 2 weeks, Vic. I don't have many summers left, so I'm going to go with the 40 VIC summer, please.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, that's what I would go with if I had my choices. I still got a little bit of fight in me, but I'm late in the round here. Oh,
so that's kind of gangster. A couple things going on this week. There's not a ton of interesting earnings, but I think if I'm not mistaken, Circle, a quiet period is ending this week. So it could be interesting. Could get a little bit of downside fall here as that quiet period ends, and the delivery numbers. The delivery.
Hold on. Let's go to Circle. Let's go to Circle for a quick second because I got some emails on this and about the quiet period. The last one that I remember, like a big-ish kind of stock, and you're gonna laugh at the numbers, was probably I think it was Facebook when it was like 25, or Twitter when it was 25. What was it? Was it Twitter? Maybe it was Twitter when it was $25, or Facebook when it was $25. Some stock that we would trade all the time, it was $25 and the lockup period was over and everybody's like, this stock is going to get hammered. And it was the absolute low. Now, this is a little bit of a different situation here. This stock's $180. You know what I mean? It's a different number here. Now, I don't know how much stock is outstanding and everything else like that, so maybe it's a small amount of float, but I don't think you can play the lockup period meaning anything at all for direction in a stock. If anything here, I think it might be a little bit bearish.
All right. There you have it. Uncle Tony has spoken. The delivery numbers will come out this week for Tesla as well, so you could get some volatility throughout some of these EVs, Tesla, Xpeng, Lucid, Neo, a handful of others, and then there's the all-important, Tony, the all-important jobs report is going to come out a day early because the market's closed on Friday, so it'll come out on Thursday. I know your eyes are going to be glued to the screen for that jobs report on Thursday. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. Before I say that, though, let's talk about Tesla for a quick second. You seem to be a little bit more of a macro guy, a lot more learned than me. Can you tell me who is Tesla's competition?
I mean, I own like Xpeng, which is a Chinese company. Neo, if it's domestic, it would be like Lucid, or what's the other one? There's another one.
They're piss ants.
Yeah, they're not even close, which is why, what's interesting, everyone said, Trump said Elon got mad at him when he took away the EV credits. But in reality, that helps Elon because he's already built up his gigantic business. He doesn't need those credits anymore. Who needs them is all these startup businesses that need customers coming in through the door. But yeah, to your point, they got a little competition, but I would say they're sitting pretty.
They're the Microsoft of the room, right? I mean, they're the big elephant in the room for sure. But going back to
but this one right here, Tony, Xpeng and Neo, these little guys, these guys are either going bankrupt or they're going to pay for my kids' tuition. One of the two.
Yes. Yeah, yes, they are. And it looks like it's going to be
the latter.
The latter.
The former.
Yes. Unemployment coming out a day early. I don't. Do these numbers even mean anything anymore, Vic? They revise them, they change them, they move them around. It doesn't matter anymore.
You know what's funny is we used to say that about China. Where they would come out with their 5% GDP numbers, and we would all sort of roll our eyes like they're just making those numbers up. And now we'd say that about our own data. Like nobody believes it anymore.
Yeah.
What do you say we get our? Would you do me the honors of introducing our first guest here on First Call?
Sure. It is my honor to bring in last week's co-host and host, Nick Batista. How are you, my son? First day with his new hands. He didn't turn off his mic yet. You got to turn on his mic. First day. What is it?
Sorry. Good.
Hey, let me call my younger son in. Benny!
Gentlemen, thank you for having me. I give you 5 straight up days in the market while you guys are out gallivanting in Europe. Everything's great. I mean, look at this thing. It's straight up and to the right. It's beautiful. What more you want? And you miss, Vic. We got Jay Powell on Tuesday. Too late. He's gonna have to, take the stand and grovel for the people.
What do you think, man? What do you think happens? You think he replaces him early, or you think Powell ends up riding this thing out until May 2026? You think he makes it to the end of his term?
I think he makes it.
Didn't Trump appoint him?
Yeah.
I think Trump appointed him the first time.
Yes.
I hear the next appointment is going to be the My Pillow guy. the next
no, he's getting the first part in. He's getting the first part in. It's gonna
be Nick. It's normally these Sundays are fairly bearish. So you guys are bringing a whole new vibe to the Sunday show. What do you think about risk at 6,200, Nick?
I mean, have you guys looked at or take a guess of what the expected move is in the E-minis for this week? Have you even looked yet?
Oh, that's a good one.
Don't even look. I want guesses. What do you guys think?
For the week?
For the week, the entire week, going through.
40 points. 40 points.
No, it's got to be more than that. To July.
40 is nothing, dude. 40.
No, I would say 80.
I know.
80.
The way you say it, though. Normal would be 70, low would be 50, but the way you said it, I'm like, all right, I'll go 40.
No, it's got to be somewhere around 80 handles.
It's 68 right now. I mean, it's 60. An absolute nothing burger. They've 68 handles in the evening.
Wow.
Yeah, is what the at the money straddle is trading at right now. So I mean, it's a holiday. It's a shortened week, holiday week. You're going into, America Day. Trump will have an impromptu press conference. Markets will be at all-time highs. We'll shoot off some fireworks. I mean, what could possibly go wrong this week?
Famous last words. They're going to be famous last words.
You got you got contango in volatility. Yeah. VVIX is at the lows. It seems like every dip gets bought. Nothing, as always, nothing happens and nothing matters. So that's how it's been.
I think for me, lower vol, what it does for me is it allows me to replace a lot of my long stock exposure just with some cheaper option volatility. So I want to decrease my exposure, but keep my portfolio deltas relatively the same. And so if we do get, people get nervous here at 6,200, maybe we have a 5 or 10% pullback, which would be healthy at this point. I don't want too many cards on the table. I guess how are you navigating, Nick? You just buying deep in the money leaps and you're going, nothing ever happens? YOLO to the upside?
Yeah. Now, Nick,
a little bit.
He brings up a good point. He brings up a good point here. You like to play the leaps a little bit from the long side, but a little bit of direction. Do you have that in your positions now?
I mean, I do. And I mean, not on the stuff that we do on the show, but that's how I'm positioned. For my trading, my shorter duration trading, the problem now with volatility this low and everything at highs is you have to be really selective with your positions, and then the sizing. I mean, I'm using a fraction of of what I'm normally using in positions, and I'm being more directional. I've got long delta in some of the pigs like Google and even Amazon, which really hasn't participated in the upside as much as the rest. And Apple is another one. I've been getting into some of the currencies. I mean, everybody is short dollar, and I'm on the pain trade of being long dollar, but I think that's an interesting, contrarian place to be. I got into some long gold. Gold had a really nice pullback on Friday going into the weekend. I mean, like, gold has been an opportunity. Oil was a great trade into the whole like war headlines and all that stuff, which of course nothing ever happened. And oil volatility is back, at lows of the whole event. So that's kind of where I've been hanging my hat and just looking for stuff that hasn't really participated. I know you guys touched on Nike. I've been long Nike through it not moving for 2 months, and now it's finally moving. Like, as long as you can kind of stay in the positions, it seems to be the trade to, play these kind of catch-up trades. Dr. Data put me in Pepsi. Like, this is the stuff that
don't listen to it. Don't listen. You were good.
This is the shit I'm looking at, though. Like, I had some short delta in Palantir, so that worked out nicely.
Bro, you're turning into we are elderly millennials, man. You've got a portfolio full of consumer staples.
Yes, dude. Yes.
And high dividend paying stocks.
Hey, listen, I've also got the stuff that's flying. I'm trading like SMR and OKLO in the nuclear space. CCJ is another one I'm trading. I'm trading vol and HIMS with ratio spreads and all sorts of junk in there. I mean, this is, the pigs are starting to fly. So I feel like we still got some more upside, but yeah, it feels a little frothy.
HIMS has been absolutely insane. I own it, and this thing is swinging $30, $20 to the up and downside 3 or 4 times within the last 3 months on these crazy report. They have this weird business where they're doing a generic version of basically an Ozempic type drug. And they're getting on and off again, whether or not they can still offer that in their business. And they're getting $30 swings on these headlines. It's been insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Well, you can, if you want to play the other side of it, you go to Novo Nordisk, which is at lows. They have their patent through like, I don't know, 2030 or something. So they got 4 or 5 years of that patent. So that's another one that the peeps have gotten me into.
I looked at HIMS, and I've tried to get in there and play around with it a little bit. It doesn't have great markets, but the open interest in the options is large. I mean, there are thousands on each line, especially on the put side. So I think if you're looking to do something in there that's vertical or horizontal in nature, maybe you can get a decent price filled dollar wide strikes in July. I know that's only 19 days. And it does have earnings August 4th. But you still got thousands on every line in August, too. I'm talking about open interest.
Mm-hmm. This is part of my globalist, the globalists are taking over basket. I have HIMS, and then I talked to you about this a long time ago, Progeny, which is the other one. So you got to buy HIMS pills, and then you got to go to Progeny.
That's my sister, both my sisters, Gina and Chandler, both work there. I've been long this
globalist trading basket, along with nuclear energy.
Pig. This stock is a pig.
It hasn't moved since I bought it.
It doesn't move, and the options are wide as you could drive a truck through those things.
Last one. You said you got long gold. I'm still leaning long silver into that breakout. And I think we found a new range. I think 36 is going to be our new floor for a while, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm screwed and I need to borrow rent money, Nick. Are you playing around?
Me, brother. I'm fully leveraged. I got no liquidity, brother. Nothing. I'm eating McDonald's and ramen over here so I can buy this crap.
So I'm going to ask you a two-part question then to take us out. The two-part question is, number one, what do you think about any of the other metals, whether it's silver, copper, anything else? Do you have anything else on except besides gold? And then the second question is, what do you think about Mamdani winning the New York City mayor race and potentially putting a rent freeze on and government-run grocery stores to keep food cheap? What do you think as a millennial?
I think it says a lot about the middle part of the U.S. world that he and the young people. I think young people are fed up with a lot of crap. So
they're turning on capitalism, Nick. But I don't think they're turning on capitalism.
I think they're sick of the old boomer Democrats and they're sick of the old boomer Republicans. They're sick of both sides. They're sick of the big beautiful bill. They're sick of all the other crap. Schumer, Pelosi. We got the new ETF coming out. The like fraud season ETF. I think everybody's just kind of sick of the nothing ever happens. Everything goes up. Everything is more expensive. Boo hoo, wah wah. Let's keep Social Security and Medicaid to continue to finance the richest of the rich. I think that's what it is, Victor. How does that sound?
Well, that hits home.
Tell us how you really feel, Nick. Any thoughts on silver? NASDAQ is up 2 points.
Silver, NASDAQ. It's going to be a low vol grind of a week, man. That's what it's going to be.
It will. Nick, that was absolutely beautiful. Normally, we throw it over to Tommy for some final words for the traders. Tony, if you would do us the honors, final words for the traders going into what will likely be a light volume week.
Sure, it definitely is going to be. And I want to thank the handful of people who wrote into me and said, thanks for coming back. And Victor must be very happy that he'll be able to get a word in edgewise now that Tom's not on the show tonight. So I got to give a shout out to those people. And much like those people, I think I'm going to echo what Nick just said here. I'm going to go with the public opinion here that it's up and to the right going into the 4th of July weekend. We'll probably have one move lower, probably sooner than later, like a Tuesday rather than a Thursday, where we'll try to shake out a little bit of the weaker hands with a low volume week that we'll have. But if we don't we may not even get that, and it's going to be much like last week. I don't think you get a 3% move. I'm going to go with up to sideways. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we ended, wrapped around, 62.30, right where we are right now. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. I think it's going to be a good week for selling volatility, without really too much capitulation to the downside to worry about.
Beautiful.
Victor, I got one more thing. Wait, Victor,
sure.
Do you think we get the 4th of July food basket inflation thing again this year? Do you remember when we had the one like in the middle of the Biden administration where like hot dogs were down like 7 cents? Do you think Trump gives us that this year?
I don't remember the 4th of July one. I remember the Thanksgiving one. I remember everybody talking about how expensive the Thanksgiving ones were. But and
my Taiwanese sources need to correct us. The President of the United States does not have the authority to fire the Federal Reserve chair. They can only get rid of him if he has cause, meaning inefficiency or neglect of duty or something like that. So, unless he could trump something up there, then maybe he can get rid of him.
Yeah, and then you can tie it up in cords. You can do anything crazy you want to, even if you're not allowed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sacred cows that are being broken right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you got.
You got to tell me, Nick, what's a good? Because I got 2 kids here, but I'm celebrating 4th of July in Singapore, so I need like a good tradition. What's a Batista 4th of July celebrate America family tradition? Do you guys have one? Is it like snakes and sparklers over at the Batista house? What are you guys doing? Firing Roman candles at each other's faces?
We just get like drunk. and like splash around in the pool. Like I'll toss Vinny. We're gonna try and not break the child's arm is usually what we do. Like like be careful. We play bags occasionally. Me and my dad will he'll take me to he'll win in bags, which is kind of a problem.
There's something about the boomers. I don't know what they did as kids, but they're lethal snipers.
Minigame specialists.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's what happens. You don't they weren't scrolling on their phone. They were just throwing stuff in little holes. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for us here at First Call. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And we got something for everybody starting bright and early, 1:30 a.m. Central Time. So whether in the U.S. you're a degenerate, you can't sleep, and you want to look at your risk and you want some people to hang out with alongside you, or whether you're somewhere else in the world, 8 hours or 14 hours ahead, and you're looking for some terrific content, tune into Tasty Live's YouTube channel or go over to Tasty Live, subscribe to the newsletters, including the Cherry Bomb, which will drop in just a few hours for a couple of words from Tom Sosnoff. We will see you back here tomorrow bright and early, 1:30 a.m. Central Time. Until then, for Nick Batista, for Tony Batista, for everybody behind the cameras, we'll see you. Peace.
Peace, guys.